Hello, welcome back. On this lesson, we are going to improve our Sidecar proxy because today we are still having to handle certificates in our application. And this, what you are doing here to set up all the certificates, it should not be required for the application perspective. Let me just simplify what I'm trying to say. Let me start the services. I have the services running, and now I'm here in the service service CA. I'm gonna go to the service CA. On the service CA, I will have to run this command here, right? So current in our example here, it is actually our application, right? So when you are talking about the service, I think this is better. This here, the service app here, it is our curl at the moment. So our app or our service app, it's actually having to bother with the certificates in order to be able to access the service B. And what is happening here at the it is actually this, right? So it's not going through the sidecar. It's actually happening something like that. And what do you want? You don't want to bypass our local sidecar. Instead, we want to come from here into here, and this sidecar will handle this TLS certification in order to do this connection with the other service B. So we want to move from this into this. So that's what you're going to do now. And for that, we need to do some more changes on our Nginx sidecar proxy. The first thing we had to bring a more JavaScript code where you are going to do something very simple. We are going to get this upstream URL, and you're going to get the upstream from the request header, or from if there is no header X backend URL, you will actually get it from the host itself. And you're going to concatenate with your URI and arguments and build a backend URL. So basically, we'll be using the real host request. And how we do that? It is we will need to do something like that. We're gonna have to use a IP tables to actually route our request into another destination. So this is our IP table, and what is happening here, we are saying that all the output requests on the port 80 should be redirected to the port 81 from our local environment. So basically, this will be the Nginx port 81, and then we just start our Nginx. So basically, what we have added here is this, because we are going to be writing local, we'll be calling our CFCA local, and on the Linux, you're going to be automatically redirecting to the port 81. It will happen is you're going to receive the request on this sidecar here with the real URL. So you're going to actually use the host and the URI, and just to get the backend URL that you want to access. Okay, so here, that's the first part. It is to get the request and find out what is the upstream URL that you want to redirect. And this time you are actually redirecting not to a hard-coded URL, but to a dynamic URL. Okay, so one important part here that made things a little bit more complicated is that when you use the proxy path directive, Nginx directive, because this is dynamic, it cannot solve by itself the address. It will require to have a DNS set up, because this will try to look up on this DNS in order to solve this dynamic URL. It's a bit strange. It should be able just to go and retrieve from here and let the system actually find the right IP, right? But in fact, we need to actually have a local DNS. And because this requirement, we had to add a DNS server on our Docker compose. And this is a DNS mask. It is a simple one, and we just have a small configuration here. And an important thing that you need to actually set a static IP for this container, because we need to know where to redirect you, where it is the DNS server that you'll be using to solve the dynamic URLs. Okay, so in a nutshell, a very simple one, it is that you create a new server, which is port 81, and from here you will actually do a proxy to the final destination. But this time we are going to actually pass the certificate and the key here automatically, and all because we already have the certificate authority here. Everything be solved on this layer itself by the Nginx sidecar. So basically now we are removing this and moving back to the sidecar. So our service app will be automatically redirect to a sidecar proxy, right? And then this would be take care of everything that you were actually doing on the curl, and then it would be automatically calling the sidecar on the other side without problems. Let's just see how it is. So before on the CFCA, if in the CFCA, I haven't applied this yet on the CFCA. So what's going to happen in the CFCA, if you call like that, you would have multiple problems, right? So first, you cannot identify the server, and then we cannot identify, when you can identify the server, you cannot not identify the client certificate. So it is things that you'll have to handle here. In order to actually make this request, we will need to get the full configuration from here, right? But we don't want to have to do this, because our service applications that will be other teams that will be doing that will not have to bother with this. This is a thing that you don't want to actually leak this knowledge. You don't want to leak that with other teams. So you should be able to handle that on the sidecar layer. And that's what we're going to do. So this is the CFCA. I haven't applied that configuration yet. Let's see CFCB. And I'm going to see on the CFCB. And the CFCB, I should be able to just call CFCA log without any problem, right? Because our sidecar is solving the whole certificate management handshake. And you can see here that his HTTP, when you do HTTP, it will be port 8 by default, and that's why this rule was applied, right? So this rule here was applied because it's port 80. If it was any other port, it will not work. If you put 8, it works. Okay, so to exemplify that, now I'm gonna actually use this on the CFCA as well, just to show you that it's not this now you're should be able to do the same. Should be able to do the same from the CFCB, still working. And now from the CFCA, curl HTTP CFCB local, and voila, it's working. So we managed to handle the whole security communication on the sidecar without having to do anything on the service side, or on the service application side. So you are handling the whole security on the network layer, if you can say like that. So I hope that makes sense for you. I hope you had enjoyed this whole series on the security management on using Sidecar, and see you in the next lecture for more interesting stuff.